Hey guys, as part of our new commitment to the YouTube series, it gives us a bit longer to talk about kind of behind the lens and kind of what our physios do when they're not in clinic. One of the things that I'm super proud of with Injury Armour is that our physios have lived your journey. And what I mean by that is that each of our physios has different passions when they're not in clinic. Some of our physios love to do running events, love to do triathlon events. Some of our physios love CrossFit. Some of our physios are also living the experience of being semi-professional at certain sports. And so today we wanted to start with Jason so he could let you know what he gets up to when he's not in the clinic, talk to you about some of the injury experience that he's had over the past 18 months, and talk to you about how he manages his injuries while working as a physio within the Injury Armour team to help you perhaps understand the kind of commitment and the testing that we would take you through if you were a patient of ours. So Jace, tell us a little bit about your second role or your second job when you're not at Injury Armour.
So as well as being at Injury Armour, I've played football really my whole life. I played for Exeter City from the age of 8 all the way through and did 2 years as a professional. When I come out of the professional game, I end up signing at Weston-super-Mare, who I still play for now, which we play and pretty much have the whole time in the National League South. Injuries, I've had a couple. First one, I had a meniscal tear, which had to be surgically operated on because it was a type of tear that doesn't heal well on its own, and the surgeon was unable to repair it anyway because they'll always rather repair it. So that was a quicker return, and I got back to playing within kind of 6-7 weeks. But probably on the back of that, looking back, I probably mismanaged my minutes a little bit because about 8 weeks after that was then when I had like the worst injury I've had, which was my groin injury. I was sprinting, changed direction, full speed, and I just felt a big pop in my right groin, and I knew straight away that something had come off effectively.
Yeah, you said you felt that. You felt like it would.
Yeah, and like fans said they heard it.
No way.
It as well. Yeah, it was a big pop. So I knew straight away. Physio come on, I go, that's just avulsed, that my groin's just pinged off the bone, and he didn't quite believe me at the time. And then in terms of like the next day, I've never seen groin swelling, but my groin was like out here, like huge. So yeah, MRI confirmed avulsed adductor longus. Let it settle down. Me and you, I'm in an argument about whether or not I have surgery or do
I'm like, get back to work, get back to work, you don't have surgery.
But then I was looking at the research, and that was the interesting thing really, from thinking of how patients, when you're speaking to patients about, do I have surgery, do I not have surgery, when we just like, obviously my head at the time, I was going to you like, I need to see a surgeon, surely I need to see a surgeon. And you're going, well, let's just have a look at the research in terms of adductor longus, avulsions, and loads of research around people getting back, and quite a common thing in Olympic hurdlers getting their groin over. There was a couple of cases on weightlifters at the bottom of a squat, quite a common place to do it. Yeah. And obviously footballers as well. There was a few examples of conservative and getting back to playing, and the median kind of average was like 6-7 months for all of those people. So
I'm guessing even with that knowledge, what it sounded like there is that there were moments of uncertainty and lack of confidence, because I guess as a patient you kind of want the thing fixed, don't you? You want, fix me now, I know it's off, I know it's not right. And so it's having that confidence, and that's where having a team behind you to kind of say, let's take a second, let's look at how good you could be with the surgery, let's look at how good you could be without the surgery, and let's look at the risks and the rewards. The interesting thing that you said there is that the mismanagement, so it's probably worth patients identifying that even if you've got all the knowledge that Jason has, if you love your sport and you've got external pressures, it's very easy to find yourself getting back into the mix a little bit too early. Yeah, I'd
definitely say the external pressures in sports in terms of like managers and playing and get back to playing and season games, and that's a big thing. Yeah, and
it's not something that it's very difficult. Like even the top squads in the Premier League have got these issues happen because people have gone back too quickly, and that's with all the testing, all the performance team behind them, because the desire to play at that point is so strong. And the reality is, at that point, you felt fit, didn't you?
Yeah, I was playing, and I was playing for about 6-8 weeks before it happened. People said, oh, did you feel it coming on? I did have a bit of groin tightness, and like it literally went just before half time, literally 45th minute, like the whistle blown as I gone down. So I, about 5 minutes before, sprinted forward, felt groin a little bit tight. Nothing more than I've like played through before, like nothing. I've played through a lot worse in terms of how something a little bit tight, but then ball over the top, ran, sprint, and it just went. So I didn't really have like a pre-warning.
And what that is
as well, like it's half time in 2 minutes.
That'll be right.
So I'm getting in, gonna have 15 minutes of rest, see how I am second half. If it's ended a bit tight, then I would probably say, oh, it's not quite right.
And the difference is, and this is what people probably need to identify, is that when you have unfortunately bounced from injury to injury, or you've had an injury and then you're going back to sport, it's all about tissue tolerance. And so ultimately, Jason had years and years of football under his belt until, because of that knee injury, you were forced to stop your normal rhythms, and therefore your tissue loading just started to deteriorate. And so despite the best efforts to get yourself back in, because you were feeling good, you hadn't built the chronicity of that tissue tolerance yet. And so whereas before you would have been fine to go in half-time, shake it off, rub a bit of deep heat or whatever you would have historically done, this time it was just a bridge too far and it wasn't happy to cope. Cool, that's fascinating. I guess what would be quite cool to show now is, throughout this process, because of the access to the kit we've got here, you were really good at testing yourself early. And so through this conservative process, Jason was really data driven to understand how he was monitoring his return, and this time making sure he was absolutely on the money when it came to returning again. So it'd be quite cool if we have a little look at his VALD data, and then perhaps have some suggestions about how we would use this testing in the future with clients to show you how we do it in clinic.
Yeah, and a little thing of how we've kind of thought about changing how we test things.
100%. And this is it. We learn how to adapt things from the fact that our physios have issues. We try things informally over lunch with our CPD sessions, and then we learn how to practice better. So let's get into it.
This is all of my testing. So I was doing my hip adduction and abduction, so a groin squeeze and pushing outwards. But if we focus on just the adduction, the groin squeeze. So this was 6 to 8 weeks after I did the injury, let things settle down. My right side, which was the injured side, was 113 newtons, and my left was 132. Before I was injured, I knew I was around 400 on both sides. That was probably my biggest asymmetry, which was 14% more to the left. If we go through the weeks and the months, you can see my scores are coming up from 209 on that right hand side, and I literally done this yesterday, so now this is like in pre-season. I'm off the back of having actual good off season where I was able to do a lot of strength and training, and then I'm pushing up just over 550, 558 on the right hand side, with the asymmetry being within 1%.
Most of our clients don't have that pre-injury data that Jason did have. And so that's something that, as we move forwards as a business, we're looking at offering screening for our clients on a regular basis. And actually, non-injury screening is so important because the research is trying so hard to pick numbers that you need to test to show that you're less likely to get injured, but time and time again the research comes back and says, yes, these are rough targets, but actually the best number is the number that you got before you were injured, and then using that as a comparison. And so something we're looking to do is to facilitate that for our clients, or hopefully people who aren't our clients yet, to get their non-injury data, so that if they do, touch wood, get injured, we've got really smart targets. As you can see, this is our hip adduction abduction at 60 degrees. We try to shoot to 60 degrees as much as possible. It's really difficult to end up with a strong asymmetry. It's ultimately because you're squeezing against pads whereby you need the other side to create a good bracing opportunity. So therefore we need to have that normative comparison of what was a healthy tissue to understand where you're at comparatively. As a result of this, we've started looking at other options of how we can test the adductor. We test the adductor in this shorter position at 60 degrees. We also test at 90 degrees, but we also test at 0 with a straight lever. Even that though requires an element of bracing. So sometimes in clinic what we do is we brace the pelvis now so that you can get a much better unilateral asymmetry figure. But we're also playing around, Jason, with some more football specific adductor measures. And if Jason gets up, we'll have a little look at this.
So there we go.
Drop it down.
Somewhere down there, like that kind of position.
So with this we can manipulate a little bit of upper limb bracing. So sometimes in testing we don't want to use too much upper limb bracing because it can create a false positive, but in this we're really trying to isolate that single side of the adductor at one time. So we'll try and be really strict with the postural set, make sure they're not leaning into it too much, use that upper limb to brace a little bit so that Jason can just think about that functional adduction, so we can really isolate how much force is coming from one side versus the other. Obviously any testing like this needs to be taken within a battery of other measures. So we're looking at the length, we're looking at the tissue tolerance pain-wise, we're looking at global hip morphology testing with regards to range and internal and external rotation. But from a particular adductor focus, this has served loads and loads of value in Jason's journey. This isn't about the academics of VALD testing. This isn't about the academics of adductor. We may go into that in more detail later. This is about understanding that our physios understand what you're going through, and our physios have been there with the lows of the acute injury, the questions of, shit, do I need surgery? And then actually the reassurance that for us comes from hopefully a little bit of the internal team dynamic and a bit of Jason looking at the research, to then feel fully committed to hitting the avenue of, I need to rehab well. So yeah, definitely for any football related clients and any client, I want you to understand that Jason has been through that journey, especially with these particular injuries, and therefore he'll be there to hold your hand as you go through that process. Anything from you, Jace?
No, I just think it's a strength with the staff that we have, obviously in terms of like Ironmans and running, and if someone had a running related injury, it's not to say I wouldn't treat it, but I would say you'd be probably better equipped and better to not answering more of the questions that
find your tribe and
finding that kind of person. Like with football clients or people that come in and play football, I'd say that I'd be better maybe at more the end stage stuff when you're looking at more pitch based stuff.
No, I agree.
And obviously with the other physios that we have with Faye, obviously from a CrossFit point of view, and she does a lot of coaching in CrossFit. So I think the onus is on the staffing that we have. We're all good physios, we know we are, clients know we are, but we all have different interests in different
100%.
areas. We all love physio and we love rehabbing people, and we can all rehab anybody, but it's just nice for people to know that we've got those different specialties outside of physio.
100%. I love that. Perfect. So, any issues, give us a shout. We've been there, we've done that, we've lived it, we felt it. We felt it. Yeah, we felt it. So give us a shout, and if there's any other videos that you'd like to find out of any of our staff, just drop us a message, leave a comment, and we can go from there. So see you in clinic soon.